Coming up, see Mike Goulian's score at the Red Bull Air Race in Indianapolis.
We honor the best of the best in flight training, plus travel to an FBO in Alabama where good old Southern hospitality is the norm.
And a light sport Cessna 172? Well, hey, it could happen. AOPA Live this week begins in just a moment.
Celebrate 20 years of Sonex aircraft by building and flying your dream. Quick handling, fun and capable kit aircraft models to suit your flying passions. Get the best performance per dollar with Sonex aircraft.
This is AOPA Live This Week with Tom Haynes and Melissa Rudinger.
Big news out of our Carbondale fly-in last weekend.
Not one, but two major announcements that will affect most GA pilots. First, good news for aircraft owners.
This is breaking news. I talked to the FAA administrator yesterday. He was comfortable with me telling you that early next week, there'll be another $500 rebate available for you that have not yet put on your personal airplane ADS-B.
That's right, the rebate is back, $500 towards the installation of ADS-B out in your aircraft. Sorry, it's not retroactive, and yes, we tried. The FAA tells us the rebate website will be live Friday morning, so if you haven't already installed ADS-B out, go buy the equipment, schedule installation, and get a rebate reservation code from the FAA. Once the equipment performance has been verified, you can apply to get your $500 check. We have an online tool to help you pick the best product for your aircraft. There are now solutions for under $2,000 plus installation. And remember, ADS-B out will be required everywhere a transponder is required now. The deadline is just a little more than a year away.
Also at the show, word leaked out about industry efforts to enhance the light sport aircraft category. While accurate details are few and far between, we expect to learn more next year about efforts by the FAA, EAA, AOPA, and other organizations to include a broader range of light airplanes in the category. Light sport aircraft are typically flown by sport pilots, and they can self-certify their medical fitness if they qualify for a driver's license. And while we still don't know much about the proposal, Mark says it should be a good thing.
I don't think we know enough from our perspective yet exactly what that's going to be. We believe that instead of going to kind of a rules-based to go to a performance-based is the right answer, and I know the FAA is working on that. Now it's time to go back and refresh and say, how do we create a training aircraft that can get somebody a sport license in 20 hours or so at a low cost? And the FAA is very anxious to try and figure out how to work with us to get that done, us and EA and all the others. I don't know enough about how that's going to play out and how long it's going to take, to tell you the truth, but I like the idea we're talking about it. I like the idea that there's meetings on it, and I think there's general agreement we need to move.
So to repeat, we really won't have many details until the NPRM, that's Notice of Proposed Rulemaking, is issued in early 2020 most likely. We'll be sure to let you know when that happens.
And the news isn't the only great thing to come out of the Carbondale fly-in. More than 7,000 people showed up for a beautiful weekend in Southern Illinois. AOPA Live's Josh Cochran has the story.
Our fly-ins draw all kinds of people from all kinds of places. The Ochoa family came to the fly-in from Kansas and camped next to their Piper Saratoga. They've flown to several of AOPA's fly-ins around the country.
Keeps me coming back is just the fact that it's a fun little family getaway weekend, and it's fun to camp next to the airplane and see all the new things and boys coming up with aviation, and just kind of a fun family weekend.
And there was no shortage of family activities in Carbondale. Southern Illinois University, our presenting sponsor, set up a STEM expo with a variety of activities like this Boeing Link trainer to introduce kids to aviation.
We got to get them while they're young. Got to make them think, hey, it was a lot of fun to ride that machine. Maybe it'd be a lot of fun to fly a real one. Maybe that'd be a fun career. So start the pipeline young, keep the pipeline flowing.
NSIU provided a helpful group of student volunteers to help make the fly-in possible.
For me, volunteering isn't just something I do for hours. I don't even need hours. I chose to do it because I'll be around planes. So that's enough incentive for me to be able to be out here all day long. That's all I need.
And the volunteers weren't just from SIU. We came across one super volunteer. Craig Bloomer chose an unusual form of transportation to get to the fly-in.
Bike tour is just over 250, is almost 300 miles. There's no cars. It's country road. This is great. I love it.
And there was no shortage of aircraft for visitors to enjoy, from this Waco giving rides all the way up to this 737 used to train SIU maintenance students. The 737 was used for the Southern Illinois plane pull. Teams had to pull this 60,000-pound aircraft 12 feet as quickly as possible. AOPA fielded a team including President Mark Baker. The event raised over $10,000 for the Special Olympics. Altogether, attendees enjoyed the flying, which once again showcased the strength of the general aviation community. Josh Cochran, AOPA Live.
Okay, so Tom, were you in on the aircraft pull?
No, they didn't invite me for some reason. I don't know what the reason was, but I did not get invited to participate. We could have 10 people on the team, and somehow I got skipped.
You got skipped.
Yep.
Yeah. But it sure is great to see all those families at the fly-ins.
It was a really fun event. The weather was great and really warm for Southern Illinois for this time of year, but it was good. Had lots of AOPA Live this week viewers stop by and say hi, so we appreciate that. Thanks. And anyhow, we're looking forward to the next one.
And we'll have more on that a little bit later in the show.
Yes, we will. And meanwhile, about 180 nautical miles northeast of Carbondale.
Home race, home favourite, home winner. Goulian into the lead, and the time is rock solid.
Michael Goulian wins big at Indy, beating Canadian Pete McLeod. He's also the first American in 10 years to win a Red Bull Air race on American soil.
And Mike literally hopped out of his race plane and into his Cirrus to fly from Indy to Frederick, Maryland, where he was the keynote speaker for the opening of Redbird Migration 2018. This year, AOPA and the You Can Fly Academy are honored to host this annual gathering of the premier flight training professionals from across the country. Now, Mike Goulian is best known for Red Bull air racing and his air show performances, but he is first and foremost a teacher and ambassador for aviation. And he had some sage advice for young flight instructors building hours towards that airline career.
I'll tell you a story. So I was at the Red Bull Air Race in Indianapolis, and they have some amazing flight schools at Eagle Creek and a couple of the other places around. And the flight instructors were volunteering to help out with the race. And I met one of the kids, and I said, hey, tell me about what you're doing. Well, I'm flying at the school over there. I have about 700 hours. He said, so I have to grind out about another 700 before I go on to the airline. And I got really mad, and I'm supposed to be an ambassador and all this stuff. And I said, listen, pretty soon you're going to be a fat retired airline pilot, and you're going to be lazy. Do me a favor. Enjoy all of your students. Enjoy every one of your flights. If you enjoy people, you'll be successful in this business. And I said, what you don't realize is right now, you're going to have the most fun in your career. So don't throw it away. Your first job is maybe your most important job because you're setting the hook to tens or hundreds of people that are going to go out and be general aviation enthusiasts and evangelists themselves.
Mike is pretty passionate about the role that flight instructors play in our business.
He is. It was a great talk that he gave, talking about his experiences and what all it takes to be successful in a Red Bull Air race and how that translates into being successful in the flight school business, for example.
Indeed.
It is, and congratulations to Mike. Great win for you. And AOPA's You Can Fly program is working on a lot of things to improve the flight training experience. Wednesday evening, we honored the best of the best, both individual flight instructors and flight schools. The choice of the best is all based on customer satisfaction surveys. We select the top performers in each of 5 regions. The top CFIs are there on your screen, and we present the national honorees at the Redbird Migration.
The national best flight instructor is Mike Biwenga from Lake in the Hills, Illinois. The feedback we received from Mike's students was truly exceptional. They described him as professional, knowledgeable, and patient. He provides a balance of constructive criticism and praise.
And there were 5 regional honorees for Best Flight School. The owner of the top national flight school couldn't attend the event in Frederick, so we surprised him in a Skype call a few hours earlier.
We actually are calling because we have some more good news. We want to congratulate you on being the 2018 Best Flight School in the nation.
Oh, that's amazing. That's great. Oh, wow. Now I really wish I was there. That's wonderful. We're very excited about that. We've been working hard. I know the last couple of years we've been down with you guys for multiple events and other things at AOPA. Thank you.
So he was definitely surprised.
He definitely was. But the interesting thing in meeting all of these people, both the flight instructors and the flight school owners through the years that have always been at the top of our list, is that good customer service is also good business. These people are thriving.
Yeah. It does make a lot of sense when you think about it. So it was really the theme of Redbird Migration this week, about how flight schools can get better at customer service. Coming up after the break, the flying car is finally here.
And find out how to get a free home-cooked meal with your avgas. You're watching AOPA Live this week.
You always knew it was your perfect airplane. Now it can have the perfect panel. Garmin G500 TXI and Garmin G600 TXI, the next generation of flight displays.
Hurricane Michael just finished hammering Florida's Panhandle, causing widespread damage. Once again, General Aviation pilots are ramping up efforts to help with relief. Operation Airdrop is collecting donations of food, baby supplies, and medical supplies. Their base of operations will be Gainesville Regional Airport. Find out how you can help at Operation Airdrop website.
And Tom, you and I both found out what kind of good General Aviation can do in these things. But in your speech the other night at Redbird Migration, you also had some tips for people who want to volunteer their aircraft, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's you should go in understanding and ideally working with some groups like Operation Airdrop, Aerobridge, and some of the others, so that you're plugged into a network. If you just kind of show up and think you're going to do something on your own, it's pretty challenging. You should also bring your patience, because there's a lot of confusion. Frequently, there's no power. Communications can be challenging. As a result, come prepared to support yourself. Don't be a burden to the relief agencies. You should have your own food and camping supplies or whatever it takes. Actually, PALS, Patient Airlift Services, has got a great kind of a poster on their website that you can find that gives you a lot of tips on if you want to participate in a relief effort, what you can do. But the important thing is that our General Aviation airplanes really do perform a great service in situations like this. They can get into places that people with big airplanes can't get to. So particularly early on, it can be really helpful.
Yeah, and patience clearly is the key. You really have to be kind of zen about it.
You do.
Well, and AOPA is pushing forward with its ongoing efforts to open up and chart public parking areas for transient aircraft at publicly funded airports. AOPA and several other aviation organizations this week sent a letter to the acting FAA administrator asking that the agency establish and enforce standardized signage and chart labeling for all ramp areas at public use airports. And specifically, AOPA and the other associations want clear indications of non-FBO parking areas that pilots can use with no or at least nominal charges.
Want to be able to drive your airplane home from the airport and park it in your garage? Well, starting next year, you can. The Terrafugia Transition Flying Car will go on sale this month, with deliveries starting in 2019, according to the company. The Transition will be considered a light sport aircraft, and it has a hybrid power plant and folding wings. Still no word on how much it'll cost, though.
The Air Safety Institute has another tool for helping you to fly safely. The Safety Highlights series have detailed information about safety records and types of accidents for the most popular aircraft models. ASI has just released the Safety Highlight for the Cessna Citation models. You can find the report on the Air Safety Institute website.
Speaking of citations, next week we'll be bringing you the show and all the updates on the latest business aircraft at the National Business Aviation Association convention in Orlando. The event draws tens of thousands of attendees and hundreds of new aircraft on display. We'll have it all for you next week.
And if you're looking for an excuse to bring a friend or a family member out to the airport this weekend, Girls in Aviation Day is this Saturday. Now, the goal is to raise awareness about all the opportunities in aviation for young women. Check out the Women in Aviation International website to find out what's going on at your local airport, and we definitely need more women in aviation. They're about 5% of the population right now.
They are, and we definitely need more. The AOPA fly-in to Gulf Shores, presented by the Alabama Department of Transportation Aeronautics Bureau, is just a few weeks away. The season's last fly-in will take you to a beautiful spot. There's warm weather and beautiful beaches waiting for you. There's also a unique building you'll want to see on the airport. AOPA Live's Paul Harrop explains.
In a world where we have to fight to find out how much some FBOs are going to charge us just to show up, one place is miles from the norm.
A lot of people that if they haven't been here, we'll explain to them what Jack's Aces is, and they're like, what? Okay, we want to go check this out.
And who wouldn't? Jack's Aces is a pilot's lounge to beat them all.
We serve food 7 days a week over here. Everything is home-cooked meals.
Gulf Air Center General Manager Shonda Henderson says it's all about Southern hospitality, and with that comes great Southern cooking.
And when a pilot walks in the mornings, we have breakfast as far as bacon and eggs and biscuits, all the good Southern stuff.
Boy, howdy.
And if a home-cooked meal isn't what you're after, the porch here at Jack's Aces isn't too bad for sitting and just airplane watching. A King Air just pulled in. Just before that, a Black Hawk and some T-6 Texan 2s. Many of those military aircraft crews stop in, as shown by the patch collection on the wall.
It's a good place to come and hang out and do briefing if they want.
And if not, there's even a PlayStation to kill some time in a historic building.
This used to be the old terminal building years and years and years ago. We expanded and got the new terminal building. And so Jack's Aces was just a shack that was just kind of hanging out. Nobody was using it.
And now people use it to hang out. From the porch at Jack's Aces in Gulf Shores, Alabama, Paul Harrop, AOPA Live.
And Paul being way too comfortable there on the porch. Gulf Air Center is one of 3 host FBOs for the fly-in. Next week, see what goes into making this a great event. We'd love to have you join us in Gulf Shores. Let us know if you can make it, RSVP, and find all the details on our fly-in website. By the way, we've been in touch with airport officials in Gulf Shores, and all is well after Hurricane Michael brushed by there this week.
And our swoopstakes airplane as well, too, because it was down there waiting for people to show up for the...
Yes, it is down there, and I made sure that Alyssa had it in a really secure hangar, and she tells me that all is good. So
that's great.
Happy to hear that.
And that's it for us this week. If you have any thoughts on the show, please send us an email at aopalive@aopa.org. And yes, we do read the emails, and yes, some of your suggestions we are going to implement.
Yes, we are. We hope you join us next week for our show from NBAA. Thanks for watching.
Purchasing your own aircraft is an exciting experience. AOPA Finance simplifies the process, saving you money with lower interest rates and hassle-free loans, so you get into your new aircraft sooner. AOPA Finance, the right approach to buying an aircraft.